Hello and welcome to the Adventure Toolkit example reel number 6. My name is Glenn Storm and I'm from Hot Iron Productions. Today we're going to continue looking at tools from the audio folder, starting with the Music Manager tool. The Music Manager is meant to crossfade music clips between two audio sources. So this is useful in cases where you want to introduce a new music and you don't want an abrupt end and an abrupt start to your music. The Music Manager tool has a few properties. The first one is fader, and this is the current position of the crossfader. It's going to go between 0 and 1, representing 0 that is full volume on one audio source while the other one is at 0, and fader value of 1 where the other audio source is at full volume. Okay. The second property is fader target, and this is simply the target at which the fader property is trying to get to during a crossfade. You'll see both of these values change automatically for you because the Music Manager does not work alone. It works with the Music Trigger tool, which we're going to look at immediately. The next property, or the last property on the Music Manager tool, is fader speed, and this is the relative speed at which the crossfade transition will happen. We've set it here, well, it's been set to a default value of 0.05, and this represents a crossfade of about 2 seconds. Okay. Let's go ahead and hit play, because what I need to show you is that automatically the Music Manager tool will populate this object with two audio sources. That's what this Music Manager is meant to do. One audio source has a volume of 1, and the other audio source has a volume of 0, and neither has an audio clip loaded yet. That's because it's waiting for a trigger from the Music Trigger tool. While this is running, let's go ahead and look at Music Trigger. The Music Trigger tool signals the Music Manager and tells it to begin a crossfade to a new music clip. Okay, so let's look at the properties on the Music Trigger. First is Music Clip. This is a reference to an audio clip of music that you've placed in your Assets folder under a subfolder called Resources. And this is important. We've mentioned this in previous tutorials. A Resources folder follows a convention that Unity has that says when you place items under that Resources folder, those items can be called up at runtime. And because that's what our Music Trigger needs to do, it needs to dynamically call up this music clip, we need to place these assets under a Resources folder. And for purposes of organization, we've gone ahead and put it under Audio, Music, Resources. Okay, this is a good time to mention that all of our audio that's provided for these audio tools in our demonstration is provided royalty-free from soundj.com. Soundj.com, shout out. Okay, so the Music Trigger has a music clip property. It has next a relay delay. This is the number of seconds from the activation of this tool until the signal to the Music Manager to begin the crossfade. And we've left it at a default 0 seconds. The last property on the Music Trigger is Reset on Trigger. And if this is checked, it will deactivate the trigger and get it ready for reactivation. So you can do it over and over again at runtime. Okay, we're still playing. I'm going to go ahead and activate the Music Trigger and start our Midnight Ride music clip. And we heard that clip fade up over the course of 2 seconds. Let's go ahead and look at the Music Manager while this is playing. You'll see one audio source had the Midnight Ride clip populated in the audio clip field. It also faded the volume from 0 all the way up to 1. Okay. Now let's go to the second music trigger. Let's trigger that for a music clip called Destination. and we hear a gentle crossfade between the two music clips. If we go back to the Music Manager, we can see that the first audio source faded its volume all the way to 0 and removed the audio clip, while the second one populated it with our new destination music and faded the volume up to 1. That's a crossfade. That's what the Music Manager is meant to do. That's the Music Manager tool and the Music Trigger tool. The last tool to look at in our audio folder is SFX Object, or Sound Effects Object. This is one of 2 tools in the tool set that don't have any properties at all. This tool is meant to work on audio objects themselves, and all it is meant to do is identify an audio object as a sound effect. Why would we want to do that? Typically, in games, there is an option in a menu to deactivate or disable sound effects. There's typically an option to toggle music as well, but in order to do that, we need to identify audio objects as sound effects. That's what this tool, SFX Object, is designed to do. It says, I have an audio object beep. It's this beep sound set to loop, and I would like it to be identified as a sound effect. That way, if in the menu my player has decided to disable sound effects, this will automatically be muted. That's all this tool is designed to do. It's designed to identify audio objects as sound effects. That's the SFX Object tool, and that's all the tools in the audio folder. And that's all the time we have for today. Please stay tuned for the next video where we go over cinematic tools.